South Africans are gambling more than ever. From horses to football, bets topped a staggering 1.1 trillion rand last year. That's up 40%. It's almost as much as how much SARS collects in South Africa. Now, the gambling industry has certainly seen scores, and it does remain a massive 159 billion rand in the 2023-24 financial year, according to the National Gambling Board. The big question mark, however, does remain. And this is going to be very important, and we'll ask this question: where's the money going? And is it doing more harm than good? Ndogozo Khumalo joining us now in studio. Ndogozo, it's something that we're actually going to be speaking to Sibongile Simelane Quntana from the South African Responsible Gambling Foundation about a little bit later on. But man, what are the trends telling us? Because it just seems like it keeps on going.
Well, the trends are not only reflecting in the industry data out of the National Gambling Board, but from statistics as South Africa as well. So the concern is, while the industry is contributing somehow to the economy, is it really doing the socio-economic development projects that it's meant to, as well as ensuring that people are lifted out of poverty, but are gambling safely? Is the safety net there? And the data pointing to issues of governance and regulation, but also pointing to a lot of South Africans, specifically, Arabile, when we look at the figures from Stats SA, a lot of South Africans turning to gambling to make an income. So as I was talking then to potential case studies to just understand the rationale behind the increased, gambling and betting, you can make a bet from as little as 3 rand. It was a huge sporting weekend this weekend.
Yeah, it really was.
So a lot of people, and I heard, some club, local club making
It's a big club that you're talking about. But
yeah,
fine, let's
so
move on.
obviously there were some bets that were made there, and people being able to make bets from as little as 3 rand. And the winnings there can go up to 1,000 rand. If you consider that the grant sits at about 350 rand, if I am able to use 3 rand to place a bet and possibly win above 600 rand, that is going to likely carry me over for the week or 2 weeks. So that is what I've been hearing from the case studies. But those statistics from Stats SA revealing that gambling actually making a bigger portion of the personal services industry. So things like government services, people making money from that, hair salons, people, choosing to make some extra money on the weekends, do that as a part-time job. They make more money from gambling than those kind of services. One case study even telling me that he sometimes in a month makes more than someone who earns minimum wage, which is at around 4,500 rand. So those being the issues, and if you also consider that a lot of the online betting platforms, the payout is in foreign currency, Arabile. So even if you win perhaps $10 or $15, when you transfer that to rands, it makes a difference in a South African household, especially with people struggling with unemployment. So I was told to head out to Soweto around lunchtime, because that's when a lot of people who are sitting at home without work then go on to place their bets. It's lunchtime winnings. It's the beginning of the week. That winning then used to carry them over the week.
One wonders, because it's mid-month, does that change anything? Does that make people feel a little bit different? Is there less money floating around? I remember when I was younger, I forget what the reason was, but I had to go into one of those betting houses for the horses, right? And I went in there and it was taboo. Everyone looked at me and thought, what are you doing in here?
Yeah, it was known as an old man sports, and
100%.
very much centered around recreation. So if we did see some of the graphics that came up, gambling taking half of that sports and recreation budget in a lot of South African households. So other things like sports, going out to invest in maybe running, that taking up a smaller portion of households' budgets when it comes to gambling. So that taboo seemingly lifted, and it's certainly, Arabile, at the center of it is certainly the unemployment rate.
Yeah.
If I'm unemployed, I can certainly put together 5 rand, use that 5 rand, go take my chances at betting, and I have various options, Arabile, and that's what we're looking to uncover as well later on, because as you said, those kind of spots used to be very hidden. They used to be old men that go there. You know, the old men would spend most of their day there. But now online has enabled. You go to your local bar in your suburbs. There are casino slots there. In the township and rural areas, next to a spaza shop, there'll probably be a place where people can place bets. In malls these days, we also see sports betting areas that are designated for that, with several different companies giving up, you know, opportunities for betting. So it's made it a lot easier, more accessible, and the more you hear companies also investing in their advertising, and you hear stories of people actually winning on these platforms, more people will turn to gambling and betting.
I bet you that, oh, excuse the pun. Anyway, we'll try and get more answers on this one a little bit later.